Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Josh with the Get Business Credit YouTube channel. In today's video, just like the title says, my journey, how I went about getting over $2 million in business credit in just about 14 months, with a majority of that, I would say about 60% of it being no PG with a brand new LLC. So before I get into everything, I just kind of want to show you guys what I'm talking about. This is just one stack. I have like 3 stacks, over 120 business cards that I got with a brand new LLC in about 14 months or so. Now, I wouldn't recommend anybody to do what I did. I was the guinea pig. There's no reason for anybody to have 120 business cards. It's just not necessary. You must need a full-time employee just to keep track of all the different accounts. Having too many accounts can get you in trouble, and it's not really necessary to have that many accounts. I was the guinea pig. I've closed some of the smaller accounts down, but I'm going to kind of go over with you guys my journey. So I've been building business credit up for my past companies ever since 2001. I've started about a dozen different companies. However, not all got up off the ground. I've sold 5 different businesses, one of them for over 7 figures. That was back in 2017. And then I started the YouTube channel after I was semi-retired. And I believe it was the end of 2019, if I'm not mistaken, and kind of just started it by accident. But I know you guys don't want to hear all that. A lot of you guys may already know, but I'm going to go over a few things to kind of show you guys. So just to kind of give you an idea here, you can see what this is here. This is the Centurion Black and Buy Only card. Okay. The metal card. Again, this card is not really necessary for anybody to get. It's expensive, $10,000 initiation fee, and then $5,000 annual fee. But you get these different pamphlets in here. You get $1,000 Saks credit, Hertz Platinum status. You get private pickup at airports. Don't get me wrong, the benefits are not bad at all. The benefits are great. However, if you're not traveling a lot and you're just doing business, it's really more of a flex card than anything. I would have never got it if I was not running a YouTube channel. But again, I'm a guinea pig for everybody on YouTube to teach you guys things, figure out how to get approved for different credit lines, whatnot. So I'm going to go over just a few cards real quick, but just let you know, when I started the YouTube channel is about 5 years ago. I started with a brand new LLC that I registered in Ohio because I didn't want to use one of my pre-existing businesses that already had business credit built up, because it really wouldn't be fully transparent doing it that way, because most people that are watching me, they have a brand new business or a brand new LLC. So wanted to be able to compare apples to apples. Started off that brand new LLC about 5 years ago. And I think my very first trade line that I got was the NAV Business Boost. Got that. And then I believe this is my very first account that I got approved for. No PG. It's the only revolving business gas card, the ConocoPhillips 6676 card, underwritten through Synchrony. Same as the Sam's Club No PG Business MasterCard, underwritten through Synchrony. So I got that. I forget the limit on that, but I think it was like 2,500, nothing big. But that reports to Experian. But I'm just going to go through all these real quick. But after about 4 months of getting about 4 or 5 different trade lines on Experian, that's when I started getting approved. Like every week I would get approved for different credit lines. They're not just cards too. I have like revolving draw lines, working capital lines. In fact, those are some of them among the biggest ones, like a $75,000 draw line, Headway Capital, 120,000, where you can just draw, say you got 100,000, you can draw 20,000. It'll be in your bank account tomorrow. And then you have repayment over 6 or 12 months, repay that. Say you paid back 5,000, then you're going to have 85,000 back to you. So those lines are great. These are the main ones that have higher limits. The other ones, they're more smaller limits, like under 5,000. But I would say these probably make up close to about $1 million just right here. And some of them, it could be much higher than that because there's no preset spending limit for, say, the personal guaranteed American Express ones. But say like the Lowe's for Pros Net 55, I got this one. I want to say I started off with 6,500, but I've got increases over time. Now it's 34,000. I've got increases 4 or 5 times now. Now I use this to do rehab on 3 houses that I bought using business gas cards like this one. So I used 5 different business gas cards. They were all through the same underwriter, liquidated those, even though they can only be used for gas and gas only. I figured out how to liquidate them. I typically don't really teach that to non-students. So only my business credit 101 VIP mentorship students are the ones that I actually tell these strategic methods on how to access this and do this. It's not that I'm trying to gatekeep, but there's a lot of scammers that are watching my content. And it only takes one bad apple to ruin things with underwriters. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that already. So you have the BP Business Solutions MasterCard. This one, I think, started off, you'd have to look back at my old videos because all this, you guys can go back and look at almost all these approvals I showed live, or I showed a video of the accounts and everything. But I want to say this started off around 6,000 or 7,000. And I got this one capped like at 24,000, I believe. I actually liquidated one of these to buy a $22,000 property that it needed to rehab. This was actually my very first gas card. It was $1,200 limit. And then I got this increased over time to, I believe, 13 or 14,000. Corpay, this one, 59,000, I believe. Roadflex, 12,000. That's it. Roadflex Visa. Toolbox. This is good for those that are in construction or real estate. This one was niche based back then. Now it's not. Now it opens to any businesses. The requirements are stricter now, but this is a Visa. I forget the limit. I believe it's like 15 to 20,000. So JC Penney's, that's underwritten through Synchrony. So this is a card that is very important. This was one of my very first ones. They don't give a huge limit, typically under 5,000. Divvy, this was actually my very first fintech, $150,000 approval, monthly terms. Brex, I actually still have that, even though they shut it down for most because you have to be at a certain threshold gross coming through. And then you have your typical American Express Blue Business Cash. This one is credit card. American Express doesn't like to give high limits on their business credit cards. I've noticed that. Like I can have high limits on my, say, no preset spending limit on American Express charge cards. However, their credit cards always typically give me lower limits. All my business American Express credit cards typically are at 8 to 15 limit. Then you got Torpago. This is a fintech. Most all my fintech approvals, with the exception to Divvy's the only one giving me very high. But most all the other ones, like Ramp and Torpago, they typically will give my limits, I should say, 30 to 45,000. Capital on Tap. This one's 14,000. Coast to Coast, 5,000. This one is Jeeves, which they discontinued. I got grandfathered into it, but they discontinued. This is 28,000. Of course, the A to B, that one, the limits fluctuate. Pilot Flying J, I only got like 1,800 on that. Now, Fleet, this one can be actually used for business like hotel stays and rental car, aside from just gas and auto parts. And then Trip Actions, this one is basically a hotel card, but it is a Visa. It is a fintech, but you can get pretty much the sky's the limit. I've seen some of my students get like 50,000. Okay. The Speedway Super Fleet, which is now 7-Eleven. This one was actually one of my most used ones. I actually bought 2 houses with this, liquidated it, and I bought a second property. Now they weren't expensive houses, under 30,000, but I use this to leverage the credit line. I'll show you guys here in a moment once I get through these. Then the Business Advantage, this was 11,000 Best Buy Business Advantage. And then I got it up to like 19,000, I believe it was the limit on that tier credit. And then Marriott Bonvoy, forget the limit on that. The American Express Platinum business, the American Express Green business, American Express Plum card. It's like a net 60, very underrated, good card. I use it quite frequently. Floor and Decor. This one, I think the limit is like 18,000 now. This I actually used to do some rehabbing as well for the 3 properties that I have in Ohio. This was underwritten through Community. Now it's actually underwritten through Synchrony. So it's another account that's good for anybody that's in real estate or rehabbing. And then expensive. This one, my limit's 44,000. This one can be tricky to get because the application, it's a very bad user interface. It gets very confusing, but I've got several of my recent students approved for anywhere from 25 to 35,000, even one as recent as last week. I think it was a $32,000 approval. It's a fintech. They base it on what's in your business bank account. It's no PG. Then you have ramp fluctuates depending on what my business bank account balance is, but it fluctuates typically in between 35 and 50,000. Then Virgo, again, this is a real estate niche based card. Well, a lot of you guys don't know, haven't heard of Rogue, but they've been around a long time. They give very high limit. They want you to spend at least 50,000 a month. So your limit's going to be over 50,000. Typically, if you get approved for this, you're going to get somewhere around 75 to 100,000. And that's what I see typically on this. But I don't have all my students go after this because they only want to deal with people that are able to spend a lot and pay back quickly. And then a carrot card. This one's actually income based on what the channel revenue comes in, but it's typically like 14,000 or so. Now, this is what I want to show you guys. These are Fuelman, my two favorite, I shouldn't say two favorite cards, but one of my favorite cards. You guys can see how it says fleet and then multi. It's two of the same cards, right? But then one says fleet, one says multi. So first you're going to get the fleet one. And then if your account's good for say 90 days, you'll get invited for the multi. Multi can be used for anything. So then you don't have to figure out how to use that backdoor method that I used to liquidate some of the cards to buy those properties. That's a different strategic method. But if you have multi, then you can actually use that for anything. So just like what I just showed you guys there, if you total all that up, I would say it's pretty close to somewhere around $1 million. That's just those. That's not even counting these. Now, yes, some of the ones I showed you, like all the American Express, that's personally guaranteed. But I think out of all of those, the American Express is the only one that's personally guaranteed. All the other ones are no PG. 11 are all Fintechs or traditional Synchrony. 5 of those are Synchrony, right? And I forgot, I don't have it here, but my Sam's Club is 31,500. I actually have 2 Sam's Club, one for my order business and then one for this business. But you guys might say, oh, what's Josh doing? Just showing all these cards, bragging or whatever. No, I wanted to show you guys, unlike some of these other people on YouTube that claim to be business credit experts, they just show you, oh, just apply for this show card or that website, but they don't actually give you context on how you go about getting approved. Anybody looking to build business credit and get these approvals, you guys should take it from somebody that's been there that actually can show proof that got approved. I don't know. Seeing is believing. So if you're interested in my one-on-one business credit mentorship, I have about 5 spots open right now that just came available. I typically won't take on more than 60 students at a time. Right now, I just had a few spots open up. So I think I have 5 or 6 spots open. So just text me 937-423-9954 if you are interested. Again, I don't accept everybody. I only accept maybe about 10% of people that reach out to me, just because the goals have to be aligned realistically. Anybody that tells you out there, oh, you can get 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 in 1 month of building business credit, that's BS. Now, I'm not saying you can't get that. I've had, like, one of my students got 175,000 the first week of the mentorship. However, he's already been in business a while and he has good gross revenues coming in. So anyways, let me show you guys the client portal. I am changing to a new client portal in coming weeks, but this is basically what I do if I accept you for my mentorship. You're going to fill out this business credit mentorship application, basic information. I'm going to ask you a few questions. If you have NAV Prime, eCredible, Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Credit Safe, just basic information. And then after that, there's going to be tasks to do. And then these are just like, I don't want to say demo tasks because they are real tasks that I've assigned, but some of them are credit applications and some of them are going to be like citations. So like this one, for instance, it's Neve Credit. That's Trip Actions, the card I showed you. and I'm going to give you instructions on how to go about applying for it. Okay. So like this one, you can see I made a tutorial. You're going to go to, this is the guide. You're going to go, if you click on that, it's going to take you to what I'm showing you here on the tutorial. Get started. Step by step tells you exactly what to do that I put together and how to go about applying for their FinTech card. All right. Like I said, first thing you're going to do is fill out this intake form. Then I do the full audit on your business credit. I look at all the main bureaus and secondary databases, social search as well. Then after that, I'm going to come up with 5 to 7 custom tasks for you to do. Some of them could be the citation directories and some of them could be credit lines and credit applications. You're going to get at least 5 to 7 per week, and everything's going to be strategically done, like based on what your goals are. I'm not going to have you go and build up Dun & Bradstreet trade lines and get as many trade lines as you can, because it's not important to get quantity. It's a quality over quantity. Okay. And business credit scores don't matter either. Okay. I've actually got approved for some of my highest limits when my business credit scores were low. So it's not about credit scores, because credit scores can be manipulated very easily. If you just get like 3 trade lines, you can get good Paydex score, good Experian Intel score, good Credit Safe score. So credit scores don't really matter. It's more about what's on the report and the continuous payment trends and continuous payment experiences over a quarterly. So that's why my mentorship, it starts at 12 weeks. I don't do 1 month or 2 months, minimum of 12 weeks, because regardless if you're new or established business, I can't possibly say to you that you're going to be happy with the mentorship unless I have at least 12 weeks with you building up your business credit, telling you what to do, what accounts to go after. We get everything for the first month, a lot of foundation steps and tasks. I apologize. I have ADD, ADHD. I'm rambling all over the place. Anyways, I'm going to have you apply for what I feel that you're going to be able to get approved for and what you need. So if you're trying to get an OPG business auto loan, then we're going to work on, say, Credit Safe and Equifax business credit, because a majority of the underwriters, such as Ally, look at your Equifax and your Credit Safe. They don't look at your Dun & Bradstreet. However, if you're trying to get, say, the Samsung Business MasterCard, then we need to build up your Experian business credit, because that's who Synchrony typically will look at for that card. Okay. So these are just the different tasks. You're not going to see all these tasks in yours. If you come on as a student of mine, you're only going to get 5 to 7. And then each task, let's just go to an example for the PEX Visa commercial card. I'm giving you the information about it, why I want you to get it, the overview of it. And then at the bottom, you're going to put Josh. So it's at Credit Josh got approved for $5,000. And then you're going to hit post. So then every week I'm going to actually check, typically on Mondays and Tuesday, I'm going to check what you already did of this first starting task. Based on the outcome of those tasks that you did, that's what's going to dictate what I'm going to assign for you for week 2. So every week it's going to get more fine-tuned, and communication is key. Having good communication, letting me know what you're doing, what you got approved for. Even if it's a decline letter, I want you to attach it here in the client portal. You can attach it. The open communication is very vital and important to help you get approved. Anyways, if you're interested, again, text me 937-423-9954, and then we can go from there and schedule a free consultation day or night. With all that being said, you guys take care. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. If you're not interested in my mentorship, it's okay. No problem. Stay tuned for my other free content. Okay. You guys take care. Thanks again.